A duel between a Comanche woman named Key and one of the first predators on Earth could be the thing that the franchise needed to prove itself once again on the hunting grounds in the movie industry. And the fifth movie of the franchise, labeled as a prequel to everything we've seen before, might be the key that will make the franchise great again. The Predator franchise has been around for quite a while, since 1987 to be precise. And even though there have not been a lot of installments, it has remained one of the most recognizable franchises in the entire world. The captivating sci-fi take on the genre from the franchise seems to be what managed to garner the audience it has right now, as well as the deep lore, the uniquely terrifying creature design, and the visceral action as one of the most interesting and unique elements of the Predator movies. And with 4 mainline entries, a 5th movie has been confirmed of coming to the big screens, with the project announced to be in development back in November 2020. However, the development process has remained a problematic time for the franchise, as there were many delays along the way, and there might still be some coming in the near future. Which brings us to the fact that, even to this day, we don't really have any idea as to when the movie might release. We have also been given a little bit of insight about the progress of the movie from director Dan Trachtenberg, who said that the movie was supposed to be a surprise, with him working on it for more than 4 years now. And while this does not give us a clearer picture about when the movie might release, or even a release window, it can serve as our indication that a lot of work has already been done, which would go in favor of the movie, with it being supposedly in the final stages of filming. The other big thing about the franchise is the memorable castings, which have all remained memorable to this day, with each of the installments featuring one of the most memorable protagonists out there. This list includes the likes of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Adrian Brody, and Danny Glover. One of the interesting things about every upcoming Predator sequel was always the talk about whether previous characters would return, or if some of the actors would return for a cameo of sorts. And although nothing of the sort has happened so far, the fans are still stuck to the notion of someone from the previous installments would eventually come back, which we think would not be the case with this movie due to the setting, and this 5th movie being a prequel to anything we've seen so far. So a returning member is out of the question. As for the setting of the movie, it has been said that it will not take place in modern times, but rather in the Americas before European colonization, with some indications pointing towards the movie even taking place during the Civil War. As we said before, Dan revealed that he's been working on a project called Skulls in secret. However, back in 2019, when Deadline discovered this detail, none of us knew that the infamous Skulls project was, in fact, the next Predator movie in line. The synopsis of the movie was the next bit, a Comanche woman who goes against gender norms and traditions to become a warrior, which seems like a very well-thought bit. However, it did not raise any questions at the time. Not until we got the news that Dan was actually working on the next Predator movie, and when the two got connected, we got the project that's in the works as we speak. Now, the connection between the two movies has not been made yet, but it is certainly the same thing. It all comes down to it, and the fact that both movies are being made for the same studio and have the same screenwriter attached makes everything that much more believable.
Captain McKenna doesn't lower his weapon in the next 10 seconds, shoot the kid's knees out. That work for you?
Oh, that's a really bad idea.
The upcoming Predator movie, which is also going to be a prequel to all of the movies we've seen so far, is gonna be big. There's no doubt about it. And knowing that it will take place much, much earlier than anything we've seen before, we should be getting something mind-blowing. As it stands right now, the movie is gearing up to become a movie that will feature a female lead for the first time in the franchise. And while there have been fierce women in the franchise before, they usually co-starred alongside male characters, such as the ones we mentioned before. With this movie allowing Key, the official name of the female lead, the Comanche woman, to take on a more central role. One big thing to keep in mind is Dan Trachtenberg's previous works, such as his time with the project called Black Mirror for Netflix and Amazon's The Boys. And why do we say that we should reflect on them?
Son, these are the ones that no one's gonna remember. Just us.
Well, much of the director's work can be seen across all of his projects in the past, with each movie or TV series he's working on right now has some of the elements of the previous movies. And knowing just how popular and out of this world the two previously mentioned works of his were, and still are to be more precise, we should be in for a treat. as this movie could divulge with one of the best elements from all Dan's previous works, taken straight from each and every work of his, with him interpreting it in the upcoming 5th Predator movie.
What the hell is that?
That's my new suit, Bubba.
In the notion of not being too hard on the franchise, let's say the latest 2 Predator movies did not pan out well, or well enough. It's not a secret, everyone knows it. And the one thing the next 5th installment of the franchise, outside of the crossover movie Alien vs. Predator, right off the bat will bring a lot of freshness. Not because of the setting of the movie, but because of the fact that this movie might serve as a reboot to the entire franchise, with a lot more installments to come in the future, opening the door for a whole new take on the Predators we liked and loved so far. The movie will be set around 1,000 years in the past, with borrowed elements and concepts from the previous movies, particularly the movies Predators and Predator 2, with the movie mostly toying with the idea behind predators, and the predators having hunted humans for centuries. And we think it's a very good idea to be taking bits and pieces from that movie in particular, as it has shown to be the most liked movie of the entire franchise. So, if we go by the fact that the upcoming movie will have a lot of elements taken from the Predator movie, we should be expecting a new hunting ground, one that we have not seen before, and different factions of the Predator culture being in conflict, possibly fighting a war between themselves for a little extra hunting ground. Whatever the case may be, we think that the movie itself should not put its main focus on the different factions of Predators, and focus more on the singular conflict between one human and one Predator, a type of story that worked really well in the past, with all of the horror undertones included. The series still hasn't been able to get out of its rut and reassert itself as the sci-fi action series with its vast lore that it started out as. However, we think that this next movie will be the one to bring all the freshness the franchise needs, a movie that would eventually leave a lot of doors open for the future. A brighter one, of course. On a related note, tell us down in the comments below, what are your thoughts on the Predator franchise? Which has been your favorite sequel out of all of them, and why? But also, what are you expecting moving forward? Do you think this movie could be the one to bring the franchise into the big leagues after being overshadowed for quite a while? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you would like to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.